Well, let's turn now. We have Tito from Hoover hanging on the line with us. Tito, we appreciate your patience. So glad that you called in. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great, and thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Go right ahead if you will.
So, yeah, well, here's the situation. I've been renting a home in the Hoover area for about 3 years. I've always had a great relationship with the landlord. He's been fantastic. But recently it soured, and frankly, I did fall behind on several payments. Anyway, I was evicted, and during the eviction proceedings, I had to put personal property out at the end of the driveway that I was under the impression it was going to be left there for, I think 48 hours was the statute. And then my family or whoever would be able to come and pick it up. But they weren't able to. And in fact, the landlord came and had it taken away. And so there were things in there that were very valuable. Not a lot. I mean, I put things like tubs and, sundries and so forth. But there were things in there, and I didn't do any kind of inventory like I might have with an insurance, oversheet or something. So my question is, what recourse do I have if I've been evicted and these belongings that are very, very personal to me are out there on the driveway and taken away?
And let me ask this, Tito, do you believe that the landlord had them taken away? Is that what I understand? Or who do you think took them away?
Oh, I'm convinced the landlord took them away.
Okay.
They were put out there. I know when Hoover arrives and does their recycling and so forth, but this was clearly, in fact, there was a tarp put over it. Mm-hmm. So this was clearly not something that should have been taken away. I'm convinced the landlord did it in spite.
Twala, your best answer for Tito.
Well, normally after a writ of possession or when you have been put out of your place and your property is removed by the sheriff's deputy, at that point the landlord has no obligation to safeguard that property for you. So at that point it's incumbent upon that person who is the owner of the property to safeguard it and take care of it. But if there was some other arrangement that you had with the landlord that your property would not be moved, then you probably, if you can prove it, you can file a small claims action against that landlord, only if you have an inventory of that property that was missing. But again, I don't know how you would prove that it was the landlord that actually took the property. Therein lies your problem, is proof of who actually took it from you.
So would you recommend that he contact an attorney or police, or is he just out of luck?
At that point, when you can't prove, and that's a very important part of filing a claim in court, you have to be able to prove your case. And if you can't prove who took it, I mean, how do you really know who to file an action against? And that's just generally with property that's set out with a writ of possession, you really can't safeguard it and know who takes it or what happens to it.
So I would imagine, let's say a person is put out of their home, and I'm sure that's so shocking, and they have items just as quickly as you can. Do you try to work with the landlord? I'm setting things out. Please give me some time to have someone come get them?
Well, what we advise our attorneys to do is exercise their art of negotiation. And if we know that a writ of possession has been issued and we know how much time, we can guess that they may have 7 days, we will reach out to that landlord's attorney and ask them to give that person time to move their belongings. And sometimes the landlord's attorneys will give them at least 14 days to relocate. So we always try to make sure that the clients, if they are actually at that point of a writ of possession, that is the one thing that we can do at that point is to, appeal to their better side and say, can we at least give them time to move? And we stress with our clients that you take time to find somewhere, that it's important that you find somewhere to relocate to at that point.
That's good.
And again, being proactive.
Yes,
Talk
being
with
proactive.
your landlord.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people will help you under certain situations.
Yes.